Here we have a nice flowering of Oncidium Nia Rosa variety Sweet 16. This is really beautiful because usually flowers that have as many flowers as this does are a fair amount smaller. The flowers on this are probably about close to 1.5 inches across and about 2 inches tall. And this is very, very densely flowered and puts on an incredible display. There's 2 spikes there, and it's very fragrant. Next to it here, I have 2 plants of Oncidium wildcat, and both of these came through as having the same clonal name, and I'm working to try to find out which is which here. But for now, I'll just say that they're 2 clones of wildcat, and they're both very nice. You can see how they branch very well and put out a nice display. And next to it here, we have something that many of you really, really like. This has caused some confusion in the orchid world, but most of us just refer to it as Culminara Masai Red. And this is, I've got 3 spikes in bloom, and another spike that is a little lazy. It's coming along a bit late, but it will be blooming a little bit later. This is one of the longest lasting flowers of any Oncidium that I know of. The flowers on these can last up to 2 months. And that is absolutely incredible. One thing about Masai Red is that it does not have any fragrance, but that's okay. I can still deal with it. The flowers are just as intensely flowered as or colored as what you see here, and it's a beautiful thing. I'm going to switch gears for a little bit and show you first bloom seedling here of Paphiopedilum. Doing real nice here. This is not an award quality plant, but it is still very, very showy, and it really makes a statement. I've never seen a Rothschildianum that I didn't like. That's the truth. Next to it is a small growing thing. This is Dendrobium bicolosum. I really don't know how many spikes are on here, but I'm guessing around 30. It's been blooming for a while now. There's a few of the spikes that have dropped its flowers. There's other spikes that are still putting out and developing buds. It really puts on a show this time of year, now through early spring, and it's a really worthwhile plant. It gets to be this size quite easily. It branches nicely. One thing about dendrobiums, if you look here, you see this is in a clay pot, and it's potted in mostly sphagnum moss except for a bit of drainage. Dendrobiums like to be kept on the moist side. Not soggy, but moist, okay? And being that it's in a clay pot, it will prevent it from getting soggy. This needs watered fairly frequently like this, but that's okay. I'd rather water frequently than have a plant that will get soggy and stay wet for too long. So, very nice things. All dendrobiums are very nice and easy growing plants. Usually need about Oncidium type light, which means about 1,500 to 1,800 foot candles, or enough that you can see a bit of a shadow if you pass your hand over it. So really nice, easy thing. Get yourself a couple of them. We're going to go from there back around here and look at a couple of paths. This path here has been blooming for a long time. I'm pretty sure this was in the last tour that I had, and it's doing real nicely. Doesn't look like it wants to. The color, there we go. This is a real nice thing. Big flower. This has been open, oh geez, at least 7 weeks. And it's a really nice thing. This is spring wolf. Okay? Something else that has opened up fairly recently is this one right here. And again, it seems that we're having some problems getting the lighting right. There. Oops. If I take my hand away, it doesn't want to do it. There. And I will move my hand here and get the name of this hybrid in just a second. But this is a first bloom seedling. And it's from some of the ones that I had offered for sale this summer. So very, very nice. And here's what it is. It is Paphiopedilum Hung Sheng Bei crossed with Xinying Web variety Super Wings, which got a silver medal from the Taiwan Orchid Growers or Taiwan Paphiopedilum Society. Really nice things coming from this cross. So I'll put that back in there, and we'll move on to a couple other things. This is Zygonaria Adelaide Meadows variety Eli, which has an HCC from the AOS. Very nice, long-lived flowers, extremely fragrant. Oh my God, I wish you guys could smell this, but we don't have smell-o-vision yet. But it is just a fantastic, spicy, sharp, spicy type of fragrance. Very captivating. And this thing can fill up the whole greenhouse. This is the second spike that's opened on this. The first spike is fading. And here I have another plant that put out just one spike. This has been blooming for quite a while. The flowers on this have got just very, very heavy substance, and they will stay open for 5 or 6 weeks. Right here, this is what we call a jewel orchid. This is Ludizia discolor, and it's not in flower yet, but it is starting to get in bud, and I'm hoping that this will be in good shape for an upcoming show for me. This is a very easy thing to bloom, and it's very rewarding. It looks nice all the time because of its beautiful foliage, and even nicer when it blooms. Behind it here, or to the side, this is Maxillaria variabilis. This is a yellow variety with a red lip. This blooms for a long period of time. I've gotten blooms on this thing for 3 months, usually starting around Christmas, and it will continue on through March. This is just something these are cuttings that I just put in here this past year. So it's just getting started again, but by next year you will see well over 100 flowers on this. It's very rewarding. A lot of people think since it's not a big flower that it just doesn't really have that much of a punch as far as being able to be showy, but they're wrong. This thing is just a beautiful thing and very, very easy to grow. So that's again, that is Maxillaria variabilis. Now I want to move over here, and we're going to talk about Australian dendrobiums. Right here's one of them. I'm not going to go into exactly what crosses what, but I've got quite a few of them blooming right now, and I just want to show you to them, or show them to you. Yeah, we'll do it that way too. This one here, I will tell you, this is Dendrobium kingianum variety Selkakii. It's a fairly rare form. Some people think that this is a naturally occurring hybrid, but I have it listed as a species and a variety of kingianum. In back of it, here we have some more Australian dendrobiums. Very, very floriferous plants. Here's another one that's been flowering. These are very fragrant plants. Usually have anywhere from a sweet to a spicy fragrance. This one here has quite a few buds coming. This is the first bloom of Dendrobium speciosum, which is used to make a lot of the Australian Dendrobium hybrids. Just an incredible thing. I'm very surprised. This is blooming in a 3.5-inch pot, and they are usually really large growing plants, but this is a sibling cross of two small growing varieties that Fred Clark offered, and I'm really surprised to see this blooming this small. Move along here. Here's another one. Really nice flower. This is a very large flower, and it's open very nice. Very, very beautiful thing, and again, very fragrant. This is possibly award quality at some point when it grows up. And behind it, we have lots of things that are in bud yet that will be opening after a little bit. Move along here, look at some Cymbidiums and frags. Here we have one of the frags that is blooming almost all the time for me. This is just opening up here, and it's really at the very end of its blooming cycle. This is Frag longifolium. That's a small flower. Next to it here is this is Frag Jason Fisher. This thing has been blooming for about 8 months now, and there's still, if you can see, there's more buds coming, at least one more bud. And if you look down here, here's another spike. So it's possible for these things to be in bloom all the time. Just a very rewarding thing. Not yet in bloom, but something that I did a video on a couple months ago. This is a fairly small growing Phragmipedium. This is Phragmipedium. I've got about 7 spikes coming on this right now. This is, let's see, 2 years ago, this thing was in a 4-inch pot and gave up 1 flower spike. Last year I had 3. Now it's in an 8-inch pot that has its own water reservoir. It's one of these pots here. I think you see these all over the place at Walmart and Dollar General. These work really nicely for frags because it has a built-in water reservoir there, and most of your frags like to be kept wet. So this is showing how much it likes it, I guess. So it keeps growing and growing and growing, and I'm really glad. Beautiful thing. Behind it here is an unnamed Cymbidium hybrid, nicely colored, blooms very easily and readily. Beautiful thing. And there's another Cymbidium hybrid here that is just starting to open up. This is a red one. You can't really see very well, but hopefully next month this will still be in bloom and I'll be able to show it to you. Way behind it here, see if I can get closer. There's another Jason Fisher that's in bloom yet. This is Jason Fisher variety Bashful. And it isn't bashful about blooming. Just a real nice plant. Okay. One more frag here. I believe this is Phragmipedium cardinal variety Wilcox, which is a very old awarded clone. And this particular frag here does not lend itself very well to small divisions. I found that out by making some 4-inch pot divisions of this, and they really suffered for a while before taking off. They like being in at least chunks of at least that fill up a 6-inch pot. But a nice little thing. Okay, look at a Cattleya or two here. Here we have a really nice thing. This is a first bloom for me, and I forget right now what the name of this is. Oh yes, it's Chocolate Drop variety Kadama, which is an awarded plant. And this can put out a lot more flowers than this. There's 5 on this spike. I think it can put up to a dozen flowers on a spike. But this is just blooming from a small division. So, and next to it here, this is another Oncidium hybrid. This is a Miltassia, and its name is Estrelita variety Sweet Senorita. I've got these things blooming all the time. Very nice. Little mini cat blooming here. Nice, fairly nice flower on that. It's a cross of SLC Seagull's Apricot cross with Potenera Bowgold. And, whoops, got out of frame. And it puts out a fairly nice flower. You can see there's a lot of Sophronitis coccinea in that. And moving on, here's something that a lot of people know fairly well. This is BC Mike High, and this is this clone here is Louise, which has an AM, and it's in, I think, a 7-inch pot, and I think it's got like about 8 spikes. Very nice, rewarding plant. I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 8 or 9 flowers on a good spike. They don't have real good form, but they do have a bit of a fragrance, especially in the evening. And the flowers don't last a long time for Cattleyas, but it's not bad. I'd say 3.5 weeks. So, nice thing. It's been around for a long time. This is what started the orchid boom in Hawaii. After the war, this cross was produced, and by having thousands of these, shipping them over to the United States, the Hawaiian orchid growers got their start. So it's got a bit of history. Here's a pretty little thing. This is a first bloom, and it's a cross of Potenera Sunday, I believe, crossed with Potenera Bowgold. Or no, it's got Gymnacu in it. Memoria Gymnacu. But it's a first bloom seedling, and it's very, very pretty. A nice concolor yellow. Some of these crosses are coming larger, but fewer flowers on the spike. And a darker yellow with a little bit of red in the end of the lip and throat. But it's been a very nice and rewarding cross. I hope to be able to get some more of it. Here we've got a primary hybrid. This is Cattleya skinneri crossed with, Cattleya genmanii crossed with Walkeriana. And it looks like genmanii has kind of won out on this, because I don't see a whole lot of Walkeriana in it. Maybe the column here has a lot of Walkeriana, but it looks like genmanii kind of took over. It's not a large plant. I would say, compact, but it's very fragrant. On fragrance alone, this thing is worthwhile getting. So, very pretty thing. I'm going to finish off here with this beautiful thing. This is BLC Ports of Paradise variety Emerald Isle. It's got an FCC from the American Orchid Society, and it's just a huge flower, and it's dominated by this lip, which just unbelievable lip, and it just shows you what you can get with some of the breeding now. This was awarded back in the 70s, and I remember Jones and Scully had this. I think they are the ones that got the FCC on this, and I remember 2.5-inch pots of this going for $100 a piece, and I always wanted one, and now here it is. I'm just so thankful to have it. It is just unbelievable. It doesn't matter how many times you see one of these, it is an incredible plant. Heavy substance. It doesn't have a lot of fragrance, but it's a bit. There were 2 spikes on this. This spike here is going. There were 3 flowers on that, and I have 2 flowers on this current one here. And as I said, I'm very thankful to have this. It's a very rewarding plant. Not small though. The plant is probably between 18 inches and 2 feet tall. So if you have some room, you can pick it up. It's available quite easily now. So this is Wade from Wade's Orchids. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you soon. Okay, bye-bye.